Okay, just Google a lot of their scandals, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, the Lateran Council. Oh my God, crazy people, like actual psychopaths. Okay, so yeah, and this book basically describes how ancient Romans, Britannia, whatever you want to call them, they're the same team. This is how they laid it out, and they've been in power for a very long time. They've written all of our books, our literature. Okay, they're the ones in charge of the information flow, basically. So basically, this goes on to talk about how the church really took off and started being profitable by they said you'll be several could be relied on for 14,000 pardons ago, 14,000 years of off the eternity you might otherwise spend in purgatory. Well worth the effort. So they basically played on people's fears, right? An energetic pilgrim visiting all the named churches could clock up about 132,000 years, and there is no reason why he or she should not do the rounds again for another 132,000 years, which should surely be enough. The inconsistency of lessening an infinite number by a finite number never seems to have troubled the medieval pilgrim. Some churches gave special rates to any pilgrim from overseas. Sundays and Wednesdays were good days, as you often got better rates than the other days. They charged people money, okay? Money lenders. It was worth planning your schedule carefully. Then the Pope hit on another great commercial wheeze. One of his predecessors declared 1300 to be a jubilee year, to be repeated every 100 years. Anyone who came to Rome in that jubilee year could claim twice the normal rate of pardons. The pandemic of 1348 and 49 had such a devastating effect on the tourist trade that the Roman shopkeepers implored the current pope to declare another jubilee year in 1350. It's supposed to be every 100 years. They chopped it down to 50. This is the church, okay? Which he did. Anyone coming to Rome in 1350 could be sure of a plenary pardon, forgiveness for all his sins, not hers. They don't talk about her. A once-in-a-lifetime trip to Rome in a jubilee year, braving the risk of infection, was a sound spiritual investment. As well as pardons, there was a wealth of holy relics in Rome. They were important to the medieval mind, as we shall see when the pardoner comes along. The Byzantine Empire emperors had amassed a huge collection of relics by the time their capital was sacked by the Crusaders in 1204. That's the Ottoman Empire, Byzantine Empire, Constantinople or Istanbul. Okay, that's where Christianity kind of took off. It took off in Byzantine. Okay, the Greek Orthodox or the Russians. Okay, that's technically it's all related to Islam. That's my belief from what I've learned. Okay, so Christianity came from Islam. And then Islam came from, I believe, the original Torah. That's my belief, just from what I've researched. And I think there was a lot before that. And I think there was a lot of book burnings done by all these religious groups, especially the Christians. I mean, they were naughty. The Knights of the Crusaders, like that's why they called it the Dark Ages. When I first started on my research about a year ago into history and finding all this stuff out, the reason why they call it the Dark Ages because they don't want anybody to know about it. That's why they want it dark. I mean, that's where there's a lot more technology back then than you realize. I mean, like sophisticated modern technology going all the way back to the 1300s. And it's the brainwashing technique they use in our school system, like where we have no chance. Because you're, since birth in America, and basically the entire world, the modernized, like developed world, you're brainwashed with these imprints you see just by going out and going to the schools and getting a modern education. It's because these people, they're the merchants, okay? They're the money lenders, and then they're the booksellers. They're the idadia. It's an Italian or a Latin word. That's what that means. It's money lenders, booksellers, and the merchants. That's why we go by the commercial code. It's a universal worldwide code. It's like butt pirates, the law of the sea, like, you know what I mean? Like SpongeBob SquarePants times Pirates of the Caribbean times Waterworld times the Matrix, I guess. That's the best way I could explain these people. And it's rhymes and riddles. Like, it's all rhymes and riddles. That's why it's hard to figure out. but it is right in the words. It's in right in the, because they're the booksellers, they're the publishers, the printers. They're the ones in charge of all the information we see, all from our childhood till today. I mean, you are severely brainwashed, no matter where you live. No matter where you live, you are severely brainwashed because they want you in a cult called the culture. Pop cult. They want you always caring about the measuring contests you have between yourself and society, and that's what keeps you like this constant state of. That's why they named the calendar the moneylender's account book. So in Latin, if you break down the word cal is calories or burn, okay? But then into, but then der is skin in Latin. So it's burn into skin, the moneylender's account book. Because all they want you caring about is one job, okay? Basically yourself and whatever your family you have, your close family you have. And they don't want you caring about anything else. And that's why you only use less than 10% of your brain. If you're in the cult or pop culture, and you think you're like, I have my job, I went to college, I got my degree. You're exactly in the culture, the cult. That's why they call the word starts with a cult. And there's many of them. There's many buckets and cults you can go into a society. And the main ones are religion, because the religions keep us from doing the right thing. For example, they tell us that Jesus died. I was a diehard Christian my whole life. Okay, went to River Valley Church here. It's a Pentecostal church here in Apple Valley, Minnesota. Christian my whole life till this last year, where I started researching where it came from, and it's from these kings and queens, lords, barons, earls, dukes, really rich, noble people, barons. They made it up. All these religions. Okay, and I'm not saying there's no afterlife. I know there is. Okay. I know that for a fact. I know there's stuff out there, but it's not what they tell us. Like they know it, and they know that, and it's why we're always fighting with each other. It's why they have two political parties. It's why sports teams always are fighting with each other. There's two teams. There needs to be always a divided public. Okay, there always needs to be a divided public. That's the way they remain in power. As simple as complicated as they make society seem. That's really simple. They want us all on our own page, okay? There is so much information for you to be brainwashed with that it's hard for you to understand that you are being brainwashed, myself included, okay? And if you get out of if you just go Google the word brainwashing, it's in a lot of dictionaries. I mean, like it's a medical practice. It's a scientific practice, okay? So go research it. And just know anything that you've seen as a child, it hasn't come from your natural decoding the way your brain should operate and your nervous system. It's really toyed with since birth, your nervous system. Okay, and that's why you only use less than 10% of your brain. It's usually only, and most of society only uses one side of their brain because they want us dumbed down, like really stupid, hating each other. Okay, and I'm not trying to call you stupid or anything. Like I've went through this process like this last year and a half, and it's bad. It's bad. It's like they've been the best team. You know what I mean? A very small group of men have been the best team, an evil team, but you have to give them credit where credit is due. They've been the best team. You know what I mean? Because they stay on the same page. They stick to the same goals. They have the same values, which is basically destroying families and destroying your life, and then sucking you dry of your assets. Okay, that's basically what they do. So, and it's all tied back. If you look at the British or Roman Empire, they've invaded over 97% of land. So they own over 97% of all land throughout the globe. Okay, the British Empire, the Roman Empire, Byzantine, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of names because they keep changing names. Okay, but it's all this like secret little Boy Scout. That's what it comes down to. And here's my theory about the wife of Bath, because they keep calling her a fictional character. Okay, and a lot of these men like to cross dress. I'm not kidding you. Okay, and I think this is like a metaphor, like how they blamed everything on a woman. And that's why they talk about the number 7. She talks about the Holy Cross, how it's only for men. Okay, and it's called the New Testament, and then new upside down and backwards is men. Okay, New Testament, and then the letter T. If you look at a Latin dictionary, it's assigned to the ruler Tiberius, or it's one of it's Tiberius or Tertius, or the Tertius. We'll call him Turd. Okay, but each letter in the modern English alphabet is assigned to a Roman emperor, orator, poet. Okay, if they did something good for the Roman Empire, for their dynasty, they got basically like how the presidents got their faces on the money. Like you had to do something very good for the Roman dynasty, or you can call them whatever you want, Masons, Stones, Illuminati, all these clubs, they're all the same. The Spider Cell Network, whatever it is. Okay. If you've seen the movie Fight Club, what's the number one rule about Fight Club? First rule is you never talk about Fight Club. So you'll never get them to talk about it or admit it, but they brag about it in literature. For example, the London City, LC, okay, LC, you'll see this, show you this right here. If you go look at the original pictures of like the Magna Carta, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, you'll see this signia, the LC, okay, London City, all over it. There's little LCs marked, like stamped on all of our documents. It's because we're a British colonial colony still. And it's like they call this immersements or Americans. A fee or defined in the legal dictionary means a fee or a fine paid to another at the mercy of the French king. That's what the word American means. It means we're all a fee or a fine paid to another at the mercy of the French king. And if you ever heard that saying, where we go one, where we go all, oh, it's the truth. It's because if you have a social security number in America, look on the back of your social security card, you'll see numbers in red. That's your stock number. Okay, that's why when you go to jail, you have to get bonded out, okay? Because you're a bonded security to these people through your social security number. Same slave number they gave the people in internment camps during World War II. It's the exact same thing, but they've chopped it up and made us believe we weren't. You know what I mean? By giving up these tiny little freedoms throughout our everyday lives. But basically, where we go one, where we go all means the corporation of the United States. It's a British-owned or Crown-owned corporation. The flag of the United States. Okay, so we all go with that flag. Where we go one, where we go all. Right now, since 1958, the United States corporation has been owned via private bareboat charter. Okay, meaning we're all owned slaves. If you have a social security number, you're an owned slave. That's why when you go to jail, you have to get bonded out because you're a security to them. You're a slave security. But they basically, and if you go look on the back of your social security number, do it. You can go call the New York Stock Exchange. You can give them your stock number. It starts with a letter usually, and then it's followed by numbers. It's in red on the back of your social security card. Okay, and you call the New York Stock Exchange. And you say, hey, I'd like to check on this stock number that I've had sitting in my portfolio for a while. Okay, and they're going to ask you for the stock number, and you give them the stock number. Okay, and they're going to type it in, and they're going to look up, and they're going to tell you how much you're worth because you're traded as a bonded slave security on the New York Stock Exchange through your social security number and stock number on how well you're going to do for the corporation. Okay, have you ever seen the movie Prison Break or the show Prison Break? The corporation, the company. It's kind of like that. Okay, where we go one, where we go one, we go all. Okay, and I'm not kidding when I say this. Okay, and then if you go, I'm just gonna go finish this chapter, but I highly recommend you go do your research on the Social Security system and when it started in America and when our grandfathers, our fathers, and our future generations, unless we fix this, which if you go look at my website, at my Declaration of Independence, it fixes it all. Okay, we just need to sign it. We just need to write our own documents. Okay, but basically, we've been slaves, generation after generation since 1938. Then when the Social Security system started, that was when they ran out of money. Okay, the corporate America, United States. So we had to go to World War II. And they didn't have any money or gold to give the international bankers or money lenders. So the American industrialists, like the Morgans, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, there's a few other ones. They gave us up as collateral to the international bankers. Okay, and they worked this out on Jekyll Island. Without Congress, there's no proof. They didn't even need Congress because they own it, right? And they got it passed, and we all became official slaves that day. I think it was sometime in November 1938. Every American citizen became under the corporation as a bonded security through your social security number and your stock number. Okay, and that's how you're traded as a slave in America. Okay, and it's through the international money markets or slave markets, and that's why child trafficking is so big. That's why, I mean, because they're part of the slave pyramid Ponzi scheme, the kids. So I hope we all wake up to these. I mean, they're cold hard facts. If you just look into a Black's Law dictionary, you'll look up the definitions of what I'm talking about. It says it to you right in there. You have to get a dictionary to understand some of the words to break it down more for you. But I urge you to do it because you can learn a lot just from one dictionary. One dictionary. That's all I've used the past 6 months is I've relied on dictionaries and their own texts and their own literature to figure all this stuff out. Like for example, the term log rolling means the Democrats and the Republicans are one and the same. They work for the crown, and they work for the corporation basically. They're all like CEOs of like 50 other actual corporations. You know what I mean? So the term log rolling means they pretend like they're on separate teams, okay? But when it comes time to pass the laws they want to pass, they always somehow get the votes, right? Yeah, that's the term log rolling. That's why it doesn't matter if you vote Democrat or Republican. They just play you. It's a game they play. So you need to step away. If you want to truly change this country, okay, all you have to do is basically shut off your TV, stop watching mainstream media or news, and start loving your neighbor. That's that simple, okay? Because they want you hating everybody through the pop culture. That's what they use the news media for. It's literally just to get you to hate each other, be brainwashed and hate each other. And then while we're all hating each other for like thousands of years, this has been going on. They're just behind the scenes being the best team, doing whatever they want. Now it's our time to be the best team. No more being slaves. No more our kids getting trafficked. No more kids going missing. No more million kids in America going missing due to these clowns. So I love you, America. I love my daughters. They're the reason why I started all this. I'm not going to stop until the country's changed. Okay, we're in a better place. I love each and every one of you. You're like brothers and sisters to me, whether you believe that or not. You are. I learn something new from an American every day being out in public. So thank you. One small random act of kindness can change someone's day, like holding a door for someone, buying someone a meal that can't afford it. Anything small, stuff that the churches should be doing, okay, which they don't. And then if you don't believe me about where the church's money go, ask your pastor to see the bank statements and then see if he says okay. Love you, America. Love your world. Love you, universe. I highly recommend you get some dictionaries and start learning something new every day. Love you. Have a good day.